Bantucentric is recommended for listeners over the age of 16, as it may contain foul language and/or mature subject matter. This podcast is brought to you by ImagineOnly Productions.
Welcome to Bantucentric. My name is Buck Rivers, and with me as always is my co-host Cheyenne Finch.
We're a couple of Bantus discussing movies, music, and pretty much everything else.
Great. So, I just watched Infinity War again in preparation for this. Because I've seen it 3 times. I wanted to get audience reaction.
You would be unprepared.
Exactly. Well, because I saw it opening night. I saw it Thursday night at 7. And then I saw it Friday after work. But on Friday, I was really tired. And so I slept through half the movie and then woke up at the ending. I really just wanted to see. Well, I was really tired. Like, I thought I don't know. I was more tired than I expected. But yeah, I woke up for the ending, and that was kind of the whole point. So just, if you haven't seen it, go see it, because but we're gonna briefly talk about that real quick.
Spoiler warnings.
I really enjoyed, spoilers. If I didn't, I said that, right?
No, you like
I
to
just
say
didn't
the
say
spoiler warning after
warning.
you've spoiled it.
Well, spoiler. Everybody's dead. So you didn't quite enjoy your time, did you?
It was an amazing movie, but I could have done without everyone dying. I'm one of the few people that wanted to see everyone go home alive and well. I wanted Thanos to die after he got the first stone, and then that just be it. I wanted Quill and Gamora to have babies. I wanted Loki to become a better person. My bad for wanting happiness. Like,
I don't understand. Everything else I kind of get. But Loki deserved to die a long time ago.
okay,
like,
he's the
how
god
many
of
chances
mischief.
does he need?
He's mischievous. Like, we like that about
Okay, there's
him.
a difference. Mischief is putting duct tape over the sprayer on the
Not when
sink.
you're a god.
So when you turn it on,
You gotta be more
it
creative.
sprays you. That's mischief. You stabbing people, killing millions in New York. I'm sorry, but I think that's a good enough reason for him to get axed
But he was
a long
the
time
last
ago.
living person that like loved Thor that was living. Like, he was the last one. Like, the scene where Thor is just going down the list of everyone that's died. He's like, yeah, so my brother's dead now. My father's dead. My sister tried to kill me, but now she's dead. And he's like, oh, but like your mother's still around too. Like, right? He's like,
she
no.
got stabbed too.
She's dead. Been dead a while.
Yeah,
Like,
got stabbed in the second movie.
that's
that
awful.
was definitely a standout scene for me. That, because there were people who were complaining that he wasn't his character from the previous movie, and I felt like he was the perfect combination of the two. That we kind of the guy that we got in the first two, and then who he kind of became in the third movie with more of the comedy. He felt like he was directly in the middle. I mean, he wasn't making jokes because literally everybody had just died around him. So, but in his main monologue, I could really tell that he was trying to stay lighthearted and was trying to be himself, but at the same time, all this shit had happened, So I felt that was a great moment to really see that kind of weakness in him. While trying to stay, everything will be all right. That I felt that was well received. I didn't understand how people were like, oh, well, he was just mean and sad. And I was like, no, I mean, people died. Like, everybody died. Like, I feel like he saw more death before the movie started than anybody in the entire film saw, in general. Just sheer death, So I don't know.
It didn't have to be like that. Like,
yes, it
Loki's
did.
little knife trick could have worked, and he could have killed Thanos in the first 5 minutes.
And
then they could have rolled credits, and I would have been like, "Bravo, Marvel."
I would have been so mad. You gonna beat the Hulk down? You gonna beat up the Hulk,
like the
and then
memes about the Hulk have me dead. Like, they were like, he hit the Hulk so hard. Hulk just straight pacified him. Like, the rest of the movie, he didn't want no more smoke. He was like, no.
Nah.
Like, I'm not coming back for anyone.
That's why I wanted to see it again and really stay awake through it, because there were just a lot of little moments like that were really great, you know? I really liked that intro, because I remember hearing before the movie had come out that the Russo brothers were talking about, and they were saying that within the first 5 minutes, you know how bad Thanos is. And so I was like, he's probably going to fight the Hulk, like, how else, you know? And damn, because that was great. I like how Hulk just jumps in like he normally does, and he kind of took it, you know? And then you see him kind of step back. He gets his shit together, you know, and he like gets him in the throat, and then boom, boom, pressure point, boom, 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 picked him up, throw him on the ground. Like, that was cool. That was like some random asshole fighting an MMA fighter, you know, or like Mr. Miyagi, you know, oh, I got skills, yo, man, and he just like pressure point, got him right in those spots, because, yeah, like in the sense that
there was like logic.
But it seemed like they were
hurt the most.
Yeah, like that was cool, because it was like they were about evenly matched in strength and size, but Thanos knew what he was doing, and the Hulk just gets mad and just overpowers people, and he was like, nah, I've been doing this for years. Like,
I know
nothing.
jujitsu. Like.
Yeah, that shit. Oh, I only wish there had been more scenes like that to really just see Thanos just, let me put my glove down and just whoop some ass, because he could have taken all of them out.
Then, like, Spider-Man could have came and like snatched it and ran away. And then the movie over, roll credits. We did it. Like,
no, like it was great seeing that, but nah, I just wanted to see a little more hand to hand, because oh man, that's the thing. Like, I like how they did it. It was depressing, sure, but I had a lot of respect for the way that they crafted the film, because it was Thanos' movie. You know, we waited 10 years for this guy, and we're just gonna get one movie. You know, we followed him.
Yeah.
And like the hero's journey was his. Like, there was an introduction to him. They delivered what it was that he was trying to do. He was attacked, you know, there were you know, hills and valleys where he was getting what he wanted. He had to get to that point where he needed to overcome his, you know, issues and really step over that threshold, which was, you know, throwing Gamora. And then after that, he was in the zone, you know, he had his climax, he had his lowering action, and then the movie ended, and then he rested. Like, I don't know, that, in the sense that it was his movie, I'm not as disappointed. Game of Thrones season 1, spoiler, go watch a show that started in like 2009. It ends sadly, you know, Ned Stark, he gets killed. Nobody saw that coming, but the show wasn't over. He didn't come back, though, because sometimes people need to be sad, because that's what makes the good stuff good. If everything is always good, then, you know, then you never, those peaks and valleys don't exist, you know? And that's the thing. Like, to spur it into the Bantucentric part, my mom was talking about this, and she was saying, this is no offense to anybody necessarily, but she was saying that white people don't know how to be happy, because most of the world is on their side, and most of the world is pretty fair, so they have to go, you know, skiing and sledding and skydiving and bungee jumping, you know, to get that thrill out of life, because you can't just walk outside and get shot by the cops, you know. It's not that they would want that, but that the world is in their favor, so when happy things happen, they don't have as much effect, you know? Black people are some of the most religious people ever. And the reason is because we're constantly going through shit, you know? I don't understand how white people, I understand how they can, but I don't understand white people that are just like, yeah, I don't need that, blah, blah, blah. Because they don't. I mean, the world's fair. I could do my hardest and still fail. So yeah, I need Jesus, because otherwise how am I going to get out of this? You know, they don't need that. So when they're in church, they're kind of singing their songs and clapping, but it feels very superficial. And like I said, that's no offense to white people, but it's a different world that they live in, where you really don't need to rely on art to keep what you have, because there's no one trying to take it from you every single day, you know? And so that just perfectly represents all cinema. If you keep things happy, then, you know, okay, that was a little less, you know, that's why I hated Age of Ultron. You know, I thought it was decent, but I left there being really disappointed. One, because it's called Age of Ultron. In the comics, it was a long period of time. This age was 3 days long, and then they saved everybody in that entire city. He lifted like a whole city above, you know, to drop it back on the planet, and they somehow rescued every single human being that existed on that rock, and it didn't destroy the earth.
Because I wrote that movie,
like,
Queen
exactly,
right here. I like to see people
and
live.
That's dumb. Like, I'm not saying it was dumb just that they should not have won. But hurtful. Knowing that we were leading up to Infinity War, knowing that Civil War was coming up, and then we were going to get Infinity War, it seemed crazy to, in the middle of your series, we knew there were 3, the middle of your series, you're not going to end on a low note. Empire Strikes Back was a cliffhanger, and it was sad. You know, if anything needed to be that cliffhanger ending, or just a sad kind of defeat, it should have been there. I think they should have still won, not destroyed the Earth, still beaten Ultron, but at a cost. So then when Civil War came around, it's not just, oh yeah, you guys have been flying around doing shitty stuff. Like, they had to start Civil War out with that big fight scene and people get killed, you know, because that was the best they could do. If they had dropped a city because Tony was fucking around trying to, you know, get ahead of the power curve and created a robot that he should have been creating, and it killed millions of people, yeah, sign these papers and we're controlling you because you guys fucked up. Everybody would be pissed at him, and it would make more sense when he was like, okay, I'm gonna sign him, and Cap was like, no, because despite all those millions, it's still better for us to have it. It didn't, even Civil War didn't feel like they had that quite emotion enough for what they were going with, and they kind of had to keep adding on tragedies, you know, to make it really worth that. Perfect solution, you know, you uprise Avengers, you're up there, you get to Ultron, that's the fall, they're kind of Civil War, the team breaks up, Infinity War, the team fixes their shit, gets back together, beats the bad guy. That's hero's journey, that's storytelling, that's, you know, but no, happy. Civil War ended, hey,
yeah,
I almost killed ya, but we're still friends, here's a cell phone. Like, I didn't like that. That movie was great, and then they were so fractured, but yeah, if you ever need me, it'll be okay. And they had that happy music at the end, and it was just let us be a little upset
it's all
for
written
once.
By me.
Just for
Plot
once.
twist, I'm Stan Lee. I run this. Everyone's happy.
Like, no, let us be sad once. It's okay.
No.
Like, because we know there's more to come.
I'm actually bringing Loki back in 5 minutes. It was all a joke.
Great.
You know, you'd think in the Marvel universe everyone would just move out of New York with all the hell that goes on there.
Yeah, really.
Like, honestly, I live in New York now, and it's pretty trifling as it is on a regular day. If someone told me, oh yeah, and every once in a while aliens stop by and kind of destroy the city, I'd be like, all right, that's a little much.
Yeah,
I'll go.
Go ahead and switch.
Like, you guys are doing a little too much for me. On top of the fact that we just throw our trash in the streets.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a little too much.
Well, we have overstayed that topic, so I'm gonna quickly give a message from our not sponsors, because we don't have any sponsors. But if you would like to sponsor us, please reach out to bantucentric@gmail.com and pay us to talk about your products, because why not? You know,
we are happy to.
Yes, very much so. So I just wanted to plug the Dragons of Melgor. It is it's a science fiction animation live action kind of mix. It is, and I quote, The Dragons of Melgor is Galaxy Quest meets Filmation Battlestar Galactica with a pinch of Buck Rogers thrown in for taste. I wrote that myself because I needed to change the marketing campaign. It is not my movie. Thank you. It's not my movie. It's written by Steve Remenko and Turner Van Ryn. They are industry professionals in both sound and in filmmaking, but they need some help funding this movie. If you are interested in this kind of stuff, please go to @DragonsMelgor on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Hit us up. Reach out. Give us some help. We're looking for artists. We're trying to make a proof of concept so that we can get some funding for this. So if you'd like to throw money at us, great. If you'd like to help us create the proof of concept so then someone will throw money at us, great too. But yeah, so @DragonsMelgor, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you.
Cool. So I want to talk a little bit about the new music video by Childish Gambino. Okay. If you have seen it.
Yes, I watched it on on the way here.
Donut eating.
I'm not eating donuts. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I'm not eating.
Yes, so he just
donuts right now.
So he just came out with this new music video called "This Is America," and a few people I know have said he is crazy. I, for one, think he is a brilliant mind. He's like this big triple threat in all the industries: comedian, actor, singer, all of it. Producer. I honestly idolize him.
Okay.
And I think this video's brilliant on a level where you just have to keep your mind open to understand it and how he's portraying the Black community, Black culture, Black music, and things that are happening to Black people. And the way he talks about gun violence, and even in the music itself, he almost uses sort of mumble rap to portray the music we're creating today. Yeah. Everything he did was just on a level, it was just brilliant to portray Black people in America these days.
Okay. I think that it was a very well-made video. It was definitely unnerving, but I think that was kind of the point. It was supposed to be shocking. I thought that there was clearly a lot of symbolism there, but I couldn't piece it together. I watched it 3 times over, and I still couldn't quite grasp what he might be specifically trying to say. But this is something that normally with music videos like this, it's either this is speaking to me or it's not. You know, a lot of Kanye's stuff, it seems like he's trying to say something, but in the way that it's being delivered, it's so abstract that it just seems like maybe you're not saying shit.
Slavery
with this
was
one,
a choice.
It held my attention. yeah, exactly. You know, this one, it held my attention, and it was clear something is being said, and I'm going to have a good time researching it and seeing what other people think. Other note, I think that his pose with that gunshot in the beginning was awesome. And then his talent with a firearm was very well displayed, because there were 12 people in that choir, and he took them all out and just that was, I mean, it's bad, but you got skills, you know? You should go in the Olympics. They've got shooting in the Olympics. He just kind of swung that gun and got all of them.
My face was just frozen at that part. That was the last thing I expected to happen.
That's talent. That's all I gotta say, you know?
Out. I'm like, did he just...
Yeah, it's definitely affecting at that point. But it was, I don't know. I like stuff like that. Like I said with Infinity War, I like things that'll really grab you and make you feel something. And so, good on you. I do wish I kind of had an idea what he was trying. Did you get anything specifically that, the message?
I feel like he was trying to convey a lot of messages. And I don't want to speculate because I feel like I'll be wrong. I understand that he didn't just lose his mind and was like, I'm gonna run out shirtless and shoot choirs and make songs about it. That's not what this was. He basically, he's trying to like convey something to Black America, and like not just Black America, but like all of America, but particularly us as a people. And it looked like it was maybe about our music, about the way we're living our lives, about the our dancing, the things we do. Especially like in some of his dance moves look like versions of what we do when we go out to parties and clubs and things like that. But it was almost in a way where he was mocking it. Like he didn't do it like these other rappers out here that come out and dance and rap and they're serious about it and this is their work. And we all just kind of bump it because like the beat is hot. But is it really work? Like, I don't know. I don't want to say he's bashing other artists because I don't think that's what he's doing at all. But in a way, it made me feel like we can do better as people. Like, he was just, when you see him do it through that art form, it makes me look back on things that we listen to seriously and dances we do seriously. And I'm just like... I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to speculate because I know I'll be wrong. Because I feel like he'll come out and be like, "That's not what I was saying at all." And I'm like,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, no,
I mean,
my idol hates me.
Nah, I think you should.
I'm real paranoid.
But that's the thing. He's an artist, so he wants people to interpret his work. He wouldn't have made it confusing if it was supposed to be perfectly understandable. So no one's gonna fault you if you get it wrong, because I don't think he's ever gonna come out and specifically say what it is, because then, like I said, it would defeat the purpose of the art to just explain it every single step of the way. Like I said, I think artists that do abstract work that has some kind of flow and control behind it, I think that's great, you know? Even if you don't mean to tell any kind of story or anything, you mean nothing, but you at least get me to trust in you. It pisses me off when I find out it means nothing, but you at least created something that was worthwhile. You know, a lot of people in high school, a lot of our film majors would just throw together a bunch of crap. You know, there's a clown's face and then a banana squashed on the sidewalk and then Skittles fall onto the banana and then someone skates past the camera in a Eeyore onesie and it's just a bunch of shit, you know? And then you ask them, okay, so what were you trying to say? What does this mean? And they're like, oh, well, you know, you wouldn't understand, so I'm just not gonna try. That means it's bullshit. Because the second that you say David Lynch, Wes Anderson, Lars von Trier, any name of somebody that you respect a whole lot and you're definitely channeling that person, I'm done. I'm not listening to you anymore because you're 15 years old in high school and you somehow perfectly represented your idol. No, you didn't. You're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about. Childish Gambino, on the other hand, is clearly being his own person. He's not trying to imitate anyone and he is telling a worthwhile story. And for me, it's all about story. You know, I love music, but music isn't my first thing. You know, that's why sometimes I have a hard time kind of dissecting what things are supposed to mean with it. But there was a story that was told. And like I said, even if he comes out and says, well, it really doesn't mean anything, which he never will, I was at least hooked. Because I've tried to watch some of Kanye's stuff and half of it is just, he's just kind of sitting there sucking his own dick, you know, talking about how great he is, putting his arms up, saying Jesus wept. Okay, you're comparing yourself to Jesus. Good for you. Like, I don't know. He's crazy. That whole video with him, with Kim naked on the bike the whole time. Okay, what were you trying to say? Nothing. You weren't. You can't.
My wife's hot.
No. Yeah, nobody's that deep. Nobody's that deep. I don't care how many black people don't respect me anymore. Kanye is a bunch of crap. I don't care. I'm never gonna take that back. It's crap, crappity, crap, crap, crap. If you don't believe me, listen to the song that everyone's talking about that Cheyenne has not listened to because she doesn't prepare for the podcast appropriately.
You know what?
I sent her this video, and she chose not to.
Like these other churns out here. So I don't particularly know what's hot and popping in the streets unless it's Childish Gambino, because he's amazing. He's amazing.
Yes, he is.
He's almighty. He's top dog. But other than that, I need people to inform me.
Well, you guys know what I'm talking about. Once she listens to it, we'll follow up next week on that, because that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, his latest song, but he does him, and I don't care. He hates black people. Talk about slavery being a choice. Piece of shit.
You see the tweet where it was like, Bush was like, Kanye doesn't care about black people. Everyone was like, is this
that
real?
Was amazing. I hope that was real. I don't think it was, but that was the best tweet I've ever seen.
Twitter would have just like shut down. Like, would have just
over. Damn. I'm gonna look into it, because I doubt it's real, but that's the best thing in the world. Like, jokes that pay off years later, those are the best ones.
Mm-hmm. There are people that are like, oh, so I could have just opted out of slavery by texting like 5124. Like, it's like, oh no.
Like,
I saw the best thread. This white guy was like, so honestly just asking, can I take part in the if slavery was a choice hashtag or not? And the whole black community was like, thanks for asking, but no, you can't, but feel free to laugh, enjoy behind the scenes. But great. Don't take part. And he was like, okay, cool. That's why I asked. Just wanted to make sure. And I was like, okay, you're dope for asking.
Yeah, that's nice. That's the thing. I feel like people in general, like white, black, whatever, just... I think people are used to being able to do whatever they want to, and no one's stopping you from doing anything. But I don't think asking is a problem. You know, I follow a lot of female empowerment blogs on Tumblr and various sites, you know. And there was a point in time when they would ask questions that I couldn't quite tell whose opinion they were looking for, you know, but it would speak to me, so I would answer back, you know. And I did this a little bit, and then I thought about it, and it was like, well, I should ask, you know. And I asked them, you know, do you guys mind if I, you know, post on the thread and comment, that kind of thing. And it was sort of a harsh reaction, you know. I personally am more of the, you know, ease people into it kind of talker, but it was very blunt, you know, so I felt a little about it. But basically it was just like, no, you know, this blog is about women, and when I ask questions, I really don't need men jumping in and giving their opinion, because that's not the point. And so I'm like, okay, you know, if I'm gonna follow this blog, then I need to respect what they're trying to do with it, you know, despite being an ally or whatever, you know, despite caring about women, because I should label myself as someone who gives a shit, you know. If I actually do care, then I'll go ahead and let them have their space, you know. If you're a white person and it just pisses you off so much that Black Student Union exists and there isn't a white student union, then you don't actually care. You just don't. And I just wish people would go ahead and admit that. You don't really give a shit about these people, and you don't agree with anything they're saying, because you wouldn't be jumping in trying to shut them up every 10 seconds, or jumping in complaining that you're not getting representation. You'd be listening and trying to change the world. But no, well, I need to say my piece because that's reverse racism or discrimination, or I'm not getting heard. You didn't have a piece to
say until you heard us talking, so...
Yeah, like, that's the thing, that there's been a girl in the news who wore a like a traditional Chinese dress to prom. I don't know if you saw anything about that. But people were mad about it, and most of them were in America. And kind of the week after this whole thing went off, a lot of Chinese people, like people actually from China, in China currently, spoke up about it. And they were like, it's fine, you know, she's representing our culture, it's cool. you know? And so a lot of people were using that as a direct one-to-one kind of response. And I respect their opinions, but I think it's a little different when it's coming from a country that is as diverse as ours. When you are from outside of this country and you see something that represents your country, that's fine, because you represent yourself, and then someone else is showing their appreciation for your culture as far as you're concerned. When you're in a place where you have to fight to stay who you are, when people are constantly yelling at you to speak English, and then some white guy learns perfect Mandarin, it feels a little worse, you know. I'm sure that's gotta feel a little bad now, you know. That always gave me a weird feeling when you see white people, especially languages like Mandarin that are very difficult to learn, you know, that aren't taught in any of our schools. Like, I'm not saying people shouldn't learn things, and I'm not judging anyone for learning them, but I get that weird kind of feeling, you know. Same thing with, you know, white people that listen to a whole lot of hip hop. I get a weird kind of feeling. I don't know what it is, and it's not a hey stop, but it's like, I don't know.
You can't
it's
listen
that
to Kendrick, like.
Yeah, it's some of that. Not that they can't, but it's just that he's talking about you. Like, Lil Wayne, fine, you know, but he's talking about you. It would be, I've never met a white person that was really into Public Enemy, you know, from the 90s. I've never, because why would you be, you know? And it's not a problem for you to not be. And if you are, that's fine too. But if you're just nodding your head along to the music, then you're really not listening to the lyrics, because this is about you and how you benefit from oppressing me. And you're not necessarily directly trying to do that. Like, people are going to jump in, I'm not trying to blah, 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 blah. But you're benefiting from a system. And so I'm going to rant about that system, because what else am I going to do? You know, than be mad about how fucked up my life is right now because of years and years and years of oppression, you know? So it is a little weird. It feels odd with that. It felt odd in high school when white kids would talk about the Boondocks, you know? Because you're laughing at black people, and I'm laughing with black people. It's a little different, you know? That's, you know, I can watch that show and I see the artistry and I see the message behind it, and you really can only see caricatures of black people, you know, because you don't have the experience behind it to understand the references or just to relate to what is going on. So you're really just seeing black people saying the N-word a lot and acting crazy and being loud, and that's not what it's about, you know. I don't know. Off topic, but yeah.
The topic kind of just spun into little topics.
Yeah, it's whatever. But that must mean, you know what time it is? It's time for the Bantu of the day.
We need to get sound effects.
Yeah, we do. I need a soundboard. So, the Bantu of the day is a person that I just looked up randomly because I didn't prepare for this podcast either.
Why would you admit that? I thought we were going to play it off.
Nah.
Like, we've done studies and research, and this person has earned it.
Nope, we are doing research live. I may just do this from now on. I don't know. Because it's interesting to learn about different black people you just didn't know, you know? So if we're looking up people, because I specifically saw this guy in a movie, you know, or I specifically read an article about this lady, like, I don't think that it'll... I mean, we're just sharing the stuff that we particularly care about. This man's a cook. I don't know any cooks. You know, I know Gordon Ramsay. That's about it, you know? So let's see. So reading Wikipedia, which, you know... maybe not the best source because blah, 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 I'm in the 90s. But Bryant Terry, not the name that we mispronounced earlier, is an African-American vegan eco-chef, food justice activist, and author. His most recent book is Afro-Vegan, Farm Fresh African, Caribbean, and Southern Flavors Remixed, which was published in April of 2014. His career, I'll read this one too. Early life and education. Terry grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. He graduated with honors in English from Xavier University of Louisiana, from Xavier School of the gifted mutants. He then moved to New York City to attend graduate school in history at New York University. After getting his MA, he enrolled in the chef's training program at the National Gourmet Institute for Health and Culinary Arts in New York City. That's a mouthful. They could have acronymed that, but they didn't. Let me see. Let's skip around here. In 2001, he founded Be Healthy, build healthy eating and lifestyles to help youth. 5-year initiative created to raise awareness about food justice issues. He received the Community Fellowship and Open Society Institute. Wait, and he received a community fellowship from the Open Society Institute. I don't know what specifically that means, but whatever. 2003, he met author Anne Lappé. There's a accent mark here, so I probably misspelled that or misspoke that.
Wait,
fall,
I know French. What is it?
It's LAPP, like accent mark E.
What, like the accent's going up to the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lappé.
Just over the E. Lappé? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's accent aigu.
Good for you. That fall, they began writing Grub ideas for an urban organic kitchen. Wait, I might have that book. Yo, see, full circle. I think I have Grub ideas for an urban organic kitchen. I don't know. I might. I'll look for it. I have a lot of cookbooks. I like to cook. I just don't know about cooks, but I like to cook. So yeah, he's radio personality. From 2008 to 2010, he was Food and Society Policy Fellow, a national program of W.K. Kellogg Foundation. All right, I don't know what most of these things. Oh wait, hold up. 2015, Terry was named the inaugural chef in residence for the Museum of the African Diaspora in San Francisco, California. Hometown. Or not technically hometown, current town.
You're from
college.
Vegas.
No, I'm from military kid, and if I was born 6 months later, I would have been born in Japan. I'd be Japanese, Black American.
Being born in Japan doesn't make you Japanese.
I'd be one of those white people claiming all of this shit. I'm part Japanese because I was born like an inch off the border of Japan. So technically.
Okay, Karen.
Get off the mic, Karen. Get out of here. So yeah, that's this man. He has speaking engagements. He's written some books. He's our Bantu of the day. Bryant Terry.
Woo!
Look him up. Get his cookbooks. Shout him out.
Bryant Terry.
He's 44.
Ow.
So he might be on Twitter and stuff. So look him up. Tell him to listen to Bantucentric because we talked about him. And yeah. I hope my mispronunciations of stuff don't offend you, sir. And I wish you all the best in your career, and thank you for being black.
You.
not that you decided
you
that.
You could have been any race, but you chose ours, and we appreciate it. Thank you for joining us in this fight.
Yes, thank you. You chose to suffer a hard life, but it's a rewarding one. Because we can drown our sorrows in the great food that you make.
I don't know if that was his goal.
I think it was.
Okay.
He should let us know if that was. I hope he has a good sense of humor.
He was like, "Whoa, how'd you guess it? That was the very thing
that was my whole
I wanted
point.
to achieve."
Yeah. I'm not gonna
goal.
mention who, but a idol of mine, a person that I hold very dear, and an author that I really, really, really like. No, it's not you. I reached out to this person, and they just destroyed me. And it was, like, they don't have a sense of humor. I follow them on multiple social media accounts, and they just don't. People reach out to them, their fans ask them questions, everything they respond is very literal, very blunt, and it's just like, why are you even on social media then? Like, it was odd. It was like, she mentioned Infinity War, and said, you know, I don't know, she briefly mentioned her thoughts about it, but it was really, really brief. And somebody said, hey, could you tell us, you know, a little more in depth what you thought of the movie? And she was just like, no, I've got writing to do. And it was just like, okay, like, thanks.
Who hurt you?
Yeah, like, you spent the time to reach out to a fan to just be like, nah, nigga, I'm trying to write a book. Like, I get it, you're writing, but
so you can buy it so that I can verbally abuse you some more.
Yeah, like, that's kind of sad. But, you know, I'm not going to mention the people because I don't need them coming to me messing up my career in the future.
And say the name. Like,
no, you should not. Whew. Well, hold on, we got a little bit of time left. So, what I want to talk about, can men and women just be friends? I think so.
How innovative.
I know, I came up with that this morning all on my own.
Whoa.
I have had a lot of people ask me this question lately, and it's been on my mind a lot more than it's been on other people's minds. And I think that it's an important topic because I've got so many female friends. All of my friends are girls, pretty much. I got a couple of dudes that I hang out with from time to time, but we're not close because I'm a person that likes to talk about real shit. And a lot of guys just like to talk about bitches and what they did, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of shallow talk, you know, among at least the dudes that I've known for the most part. Also, we judge each other a lot, you know, on our manliness, I guess you could say. So there's a bit of effort that it takes to stay in the club, if that makes any sense, you know? I can really just be myself talking to girls because they don't care. They know I'm not them, so I'm not trying to be anything in particular, you know? You don't talk right to black men and they don't respect you because you're not a part of the group, you know? As I'm sure girls have the same issues with other women, you feel like you have to identify with them because they're looking at you like, why aren't you like me, you know? And so I've just had better. But yeah, I think 100% they can just be friends. I don't know why anybody would think otherwise, but...
I think they can be friends, but not 100%. Only because there are some people in the world that just can't actually... like, do it. Like, okay, I'm not gonna name any names, but I recently made a friend.
Okay.
Recently made a friend. And said friend seems to no longer be my friend because he was attracted to me. Okay. And just got his girlfriend back, so we can no longer be friends. And this is actually not the first time that this has happened to me.
Okay.
And it's irritating because I am not an issue to anyone's relationship. I never would be. If someone's like, oh, I'm in a committed relationship and we can't be anything, I'll be like, cool, I never hit on you in the first place, but all right.
I bring that shit up.
Like, just, like, there was never anything romantic here. And, like, now we can't have an actual friendship because you can't control yourself. Like, that's what irritates me about male and female friendships, because sometimes there's an underlying tension that doesn't even have to be there because one of the two people have put it there. And women do this too. Like, some men will be legitimately friends with a woman, and the woman will start feeling some type of way, and he'll be like, oh no, I just like hanging out with you because you're dope.
Yeah.
Like, and now things are complicated because emotions were felt. And this is when people are like, men and women can't be friends. But I think it is possible to be friends when both parties are mature enough to actually have a friendship, to understand like, this is a friendship. Let's keep it like that. Instead of like, oh no, I'm in a relationship now. Having a friend of the opposite sex is cheating. Like, what is that?
I don't understand that either. I think that because I'm a straight dude, when I see women that are attractive, that attracts me to them. I mean, that's what the word means, you know, but just in the sense that if I have a friend and I find them to be attractive, in my head, I guess technically I could see something coming of it, but I still respect them enough, one, not to push that, especially now I'm in a committed relationship long term, you know, so I'm never gonna bring that stuff up, you know, with a female friend that I just met, that kind of thing. But then at the same time, it's just, I can control myself and I can think of them as more than a prize or an object. I think that the complication comes from people in general, male or female, thinking of the opposite sex as a thing. And I think men do this more often to women just because that's a society that we're in. But I think that it comes down to, if you believe that in your head, that you can't be friends with the opposite sex, then you're going to go into all of those potential friendships with that in mind, you know? Or just people that are very, I don't know, I guess if you're open to being romantic with anyone, you may have that kind of issue too. That's not a problem, but just that I think people need to be more upfront and honest with what it is that they want from things. If you're a person who can be quote unquote friends with them and make out with them and you don't feel anything, then be that person and speak up about that and don't, you know, and let them know, you know. But if you're a person who wants a relationship or you are attracted to them in some kind of way, I think that people need to be better at saying those kinds of things, understanding that that's okay. I think it's very childish to be like, oh no, this person thinks I'm attractive and likes me enough to consider spending more time with me. At the end of the day, that's what a relationship is, you know. And then there are labels, and then there is pressure that we put on it, you know. I watched a video once that was kind of like a psychology sort of thing, and it was talking about how poorly we treat our significant others. And the whole point was that with our friends, if your friend screws up, you let them off the hook. They can apologize for it and you just kind of keep going, you know. There are friends that you don't talk to for a little bit, but they'll always be your friend, you know, and you expect them to screw up from time to time. But your significant other, they need to be 100% connected to your emotions all the time. If they do or say anything that you don't like, you're mad, it's a problem, it's distrust, there's a huge issue, we may need to break up. That's not true, you know. I think people like in the video they were saying we put too much on our significant others and expect them to be, you know, perfect humans when we don't expect that from anybody else. And so if that's the kind of person that you are, when you make a friend, or if you make a friend that you find yourself attracted to, you're going to be mad when you cannot be with them because you're not seeing them as just a person you like to be around, that you could kind of have it this way or not have it this way, you know, that there are other people out there for you. You see them as this objective, and if you don't accomplish that, then why should I even have them in my life? You know, I don't think you care much about them, you know. I can see somebody that I was once at some point or currently or whatever attracted to and be happy for them in or out of a relationship because I'm still happy for this human being. And yeah, they might look nice, but so, you know, I shouldn't care about you unless I have the potential of having sex with you. That I don't get that. I think that people need to just give more of a shit about each other and not be, you know, mad because you don't reciprocate. And at the same time, like I said, don't be freaked out because somebody likes you, you know, because if we were all cool with it, somebody would say, you know, hey, I kind of feel like I could, you know, I'd like to date you, or I'd like to take this further or whatever. And they could just say, I don't know, I'm not quite there, but I still like hanging out with you. And they could just say, okay, and keep going, but it's so scary to bring that stuff up to people because we've made it such a scary topic that it has to be, if they don't like you, then it's the end of the world and you can't keep being around them or anything. And it's just, I don't know. I think people need to get out of their heads and also just think of it literally as a compliment, because it is. You think I'm a decent human being inside and out, and so you could see yourself being with me in a romantic way. My girlfriend is my best friend, so we're friends as well as a couple. And so I'm not just expecting one form of care or love from her because we started out as good friends and then we just boosted that up to doing other things. But I care about her and respect her and would do anything for her in the same manner that I would do anything for my best platonic friend, which is you. If you were dying, I'd get on a plane and rush over to New York, because I care about you. I can care about both of you. You're both women, but I feel romantically for one and not for the other. That's right. I don't know. I don't get why that's such a crazy thing for people. That it's, I don't know. You've got brothers, you've got aunts, you've got uncles, you've got a father. You have men in your life that you don't have to feel romantic toward. But the fact that they're not related to you, it's somehow not possible for you to not have feelings for this person because they're the opposite sex. That's crazy, how then do homosexuals do it? Because I'm attracted to my own sex, so I can't be friends with any of them, right? No, like, I'm sure gay dudes have dude friends that they're not interested in, but
and that's
straight
thing.
Men are just all
a lot of people like, they'll hang out with a person of the same sex, and then they'll find out that person's gay, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I don't know if we can be friends." And it's like, no, just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm attracted to you.
Yeah,
and it's crazy, like the way most people think, and I think that's that could be a big reason why a lot of men and women can't be friends, because like from my personal experience, I've seen that a lot of men, they're just like, oh, if there's an attraction here, then we can't just be friends. Because the first opportunity you give me to, like, hop on you, then that's it. It's over. And it's like, if you could just control yourself, then you'd be able to, like, have an actual friendship and recognize that there is a person beneath the exterior that you are attracted to, and like get to know that person, and then maybe you can hang out with them like a decent human being without being hormonally charged at all moments. I mean, I'm not a dude. I don't know how it works. I don't know if you guys are just on at all times and just prepared for any situation.
Well, sorta, but I think the problem is, like you said, it's that you're seeing them as this end game, whereas I'm a guy, so it's in my mind a lot of the time, but like I said, I've got boundaries, a lot of those just because I'm in a relationship, so I'm going to respect the person I'm with. But just in general, I don't know. I think, like I said, for me, attraction is very much connected to that friendship kind of side, Someone could be the not most attractive person in the world, and they can become more attractive to me in sight because I like who they are as a person, that I start to see the cute things about their face. I've dated women that weren't models. I mean, my girlfriend now is a model, so just, I'm not bragging, but, but, I've dated people that weren't, and they were still attractive to me. I look back at them now because a lot of those relationships ended really horribly, and I see them, and they're not very good-looking people, and that's nothing against them, but I was seeing them for who they were. It is, but but it's just
you're ugly. Nothing against you, like.
It's just that at the time I was seeing them as somebody I liked and cared about, and so those features were pleasing to the eye because they were a decent human being, and so in that same vein, if you have somebody that you may be attracted to but you are close friends with them, and you're a guy, and so it's on your mind, you know, I think it's fine to think about that. You know your boundaries, you know what you are and aren't gonna do, but in the sense that if that was to happen, that should not be the end of the relationship with this person, you know? That's the thing, is that if you're friends with them, but you also may have some feelings in the back of your head because either you actually have feelings about that person or you're a dude and you could probably do it with anybody because it just... you know, you're in that point in your life when you need to shoot people into existence, you know? Okay, you think about that about every woman you see.
I like how that's fine. Describe, like, reproduction. Shooting people into existence.
Yes.
Like a superpower.
You know? Yes, exactly. You know, if you're in that point and you think about that, about pretty much everybody, that's fine. You've still got boundaries, but think about that about people that you still give a shit about, because shooting people into existence shouldn't be the only thing. And that's the problem. That's guys that cannot have female friends, is because you only see them for sexual pleasure, and that's it, and you don't see them as just somebody that you could spend time with and that could make you happy, because society doesn't let men be more than just the stereotype of a man, you know, to express yourself, to do things that are outside of the norm, that aren't just I'm powerful and I'm strong and I'm not going to let anything hurt me, you know, those sorts of things. Those are the things that you talk about with your friends, you know, and guys do get emotional with other guys, but it's seldom, and it's in a different way, and it's in a way that still props up that feeling that, you know, I'm still powerful. So when you see women, you're only thinking about reinforcing that societal, you know, feeling, and it's not something that can continue afterwards, you know? Before I was in a relationship, if I was attracted to somebody, I could imagine myself being with them in that way, not necessarily either a relationship or in just, you know. And I could still imagine being their friend afterwards. Like, that's the difference. If you can do that, then you're fine. Or you don't think about them that way at all and you just want the friend, or you only think about them in that way, and so you shouldn't be trying to be friends with people. You should walk up to them and be like, yo, nice titties. That's all I care about. Like, if that's what you care about, then bring it. Like, and there are plenty of people that agree with you and only care about that too. Find those people. Those people need to get together, and then the rest of us people that actually want some shit wouldn't have to keep bumping into people.
I've been waiting all day for someone to tell me I have nice titties.
Yeah, like some people are, you know, there are some, and maybe not with that, you need more tact, but just that there are people that are just looking to hook up. Like, go on Tinder, put that on your profile, and you will find somebody who just wants to hook up. But you put on there, oh, looking for a relationship. There's literally a booty call. I want now, this, like, blah, 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 blah. Exactly. There are people that don't seem to understand that deceiving people isn't a good way to live their life. So I'm not just going to be straight up. I'm going to make her think that I either want to be her friend or want to be her boyfriend, and then I'm just going to have sex with her and then bump out of there. Why? Like, I don't know. People are stupid. But yeah.
Not you, audience. You guys are great.
Yeah, some of y'all know. You know who I'm talking about. Like you.
Hey,
you right there.
We're trying to build an audience here.
Hey, you. That one with the nose.
Insulting them.
You're stupid. And you too. You with the teeth.
With the teeth.
You're stupid. Yes.
And on that note,
yeah. So we're gonna wrap up the show. If
you're still
here.
with us,
yeah. I don't think we're the worst podcast out there, but you know, we're maybe second place for worst podcast. If you would like to find us, as far as Bantucentric, you can go to Bantucentric.com, which you probably ended up there because we're not really on a whole lot of networks yet. But you know, do your research. We do have Twitter, and we might have Facebook now. I don't remember if I've made that yet. But look for it. It's just at Bantucentric. You can find me at Bug Rivers Film. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Fuckers Film. I should know my own tags, but they're not in my notes. And you can find Cheyenne at
Sideline Source. My website is sidelinesource.net. My Twitter is Sideline Source. My YouTube is Sideline Source. I am Sideline Source. So
that's your
you can find
legal
me
name.
at that name on all social networks, Tumblr, Facebook, all of it.
Oh, you got Tumblr too? I might do Tumblr. I'm not sure. I mean, I have an account,
Tumblr was
but
my first one.
There's just so much porn that it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get the audience I'm looking for.
Me. I don't care.
Yeah, it's follows. Yeah, that's true. But also, please follow ImagineOnly Prod on Twitter. ImagineOnlyProductions.com is our powerful overlord company that funds this wonderful podcast through no specific money of my own, because I'm not the founder of this company. It is an entity that is above me, and I've never met the CEO, but I'm sure he's a wonderful, wonderful man.
He provided me with audio equipment. Pretty great.
Yes. All our audio equipment, except for maybe one thing that doesn't need to be mentioned, is provided not for free. I paid for this, and it's not a sponsor, but Audio-Technica, if you'd like to sponsor us, pretty much everything that we use is from y'all. It's great company, great value. They gave me like 3 different cords just for these headphones. I can unplug these and plug in a longer cord or a shorter cord. There's 3 different ones in there with an adapter so that I could plug it into an amp or whatever. That's awesome. Great packaging, and you give me extra cords. Like, most companies give you the bare minimum, and you gotta pay extra for the longer cords and shit. They don't play around. Same price that you would pay for top-of-the-line, quote-unquote, Beats, but they actually do something, and you actually hear all the levels of sound. So people who own Beats, good for you, but you paid a lot of money for a middle ground kind of thing that has a B on it. That's kind of, or a D. Is it a B or a D?
It's a B.
It's Dre. It's the B. Okay. Because Dre, you know, so I wasn't sure if it was the B or the D. Doesn't matter. But yeah, good for you.
It's a B.
You do what you want. Okay, it's a B. But yes, so Audio-Technica, please buy some of their stuff if you like good sounding stuff. So yeah, that'll about do it. Hope you guys have a good week. We will see you next time, and as always, stay woke
and stay Bantu.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bantucentric is brought to you by ImagineOnly Productions.